The dragons returned to the training center to find a quarter of a beef waiting for each of them in the field outside the compound. All of them ate leisurely except for Maya. She scarfed down her meat and then shifted. Kara hurried off to her meeting with Captain Radek, who was their liaison with the army. The dragons rested in the field for an hour, soaking in the warmth of the sun. Starlight had separated herself from the group. She wasn't social and took no part in the banter of the other dragons. She laid down and quietly observed how Laurel was interacting with the other dragons. Laurel wasn't saying a lot. For the most part, she was just listening and relaxing in the sun. Nona gave the order after the hour was up for everyone to shift. Laurel reluctantly shifted. She was enjoying herself very much. As soon as they shifted, Birdie walked over to Bella. "Your dragon is awesome," she gushed. "She fits in so well with us." "She really did enjoy herself," agreed Bella. "She wasn't thrilled about having to shift back." Birdie laughed. "She will have plenty of time to be her own self once she becomes a part of regular patrols." "What happens next?" Bella asked curiously as she followed Birdie through the gate into the compound. They were walking vigorously. What was a short distance for a dragon was a bit further for a human. "Next we get to eat, and then there are classes for the afternoon," said Rhea, who had just caught up with them. Bella was amazed how Rhea wasn't the least bit breathless. She wasn't sure that she would ever be that fit. "Classes?" she asked. "What kind of classes?" Bella was immediately concerned. She didn't even know how to read. How was she going to be able to take a class? She knew the girls went to school with the boys in Peoria, but in Alarion only the men and the noble girls were taught to read. "You will be in the beginner class with the new volunteers that just joined the training center," said Birdie, noticing the concern on Bella's face that she couldn't hide. "After you catch up on the basics, you will be with us. It will only be for a few months." "How do I tell them I can't read?" Bella thought to herself. Laurel could sense Bella's despair. It troubled her that after having such a good morning, Bella was stressing out over something that she had no control over. "Maybe you could just get through the first couple of classes today, and then later this evening speak with Kara about the situation you are in," she suggested. "They are going to make fun of me, Laurel. I just know it." Bella was beside herself. "Are you okay?" Rhea asked her. "You will catch up quickly. It's no big deal. Then you will be with us. Yeah, the volunteers aren't that bad. We work with them too," added Birdie. "We are all one big family." Bella knew they had no idea what was making her feel so upset. She calmed herself down and smiled. "Everything is so new. I am out of my comfort zone, no doubt about it." Rhea gave her a big hug before they walked into the mess hall. "You are going to do great, and you have such an awesome dragon. You are definitely a leader." "What?" "I didn't sign up to be a leader," Bella complained to Laurel. "I didn't sign up for any of this. I would have been happy just being a servant in the palace." Laurel sighed. "Obviously, Radion saw more in you than you see in yourself." "No," retorted Bella. "He saw more in you. All he talked about was you." "Not true," countered Laurel. "You are kind and generous and have a loving heart. You stood beside Princess Ebony when no one else did and put your life on the line. Your loyalty is beyond measure. Plus, Rumid promised you that if you weren't happy here, you wouldn't have to stay." "I am not happy here," Bella stated. Laurel groaned. "We haven't been here one whole day, and you have decided that you aren't happy here. Why don't we just fly back to Alarion?" "It was so much better there," she said sarcastically. Bella hadn't experienced sarcasm from Laurel directed at her before. Maybe she was giving up too easily. Life had never been easy, but she had never been in a position before where she felt embarrassed by her lack of abilities. She had always powered through obstacles, but not being able to read seemed like a mountain she couldn't climb. "I wonder if Eliaster will show up tonight like he said he would. I could talk to him and let him know I need help." "That is a great idea," Laurel said, encouraging her. "You know he will figure something out. He might be a dork, but he is a nice guy." Bella nearly giggled out loud thinking about Eliaster's silly antics. The idea of talking it over with him made her feel better. "Yeah, that's exactly what I will do. I am sure he will help me figure something out." Bella was next in line. She didn't have much of an appetite, so she wasn't putting a lot on her plate. Rhea turned around. "Is that all you are getting? You need to fuel up, girl. We train for 2 hours before dinner." "What do you mean, train?" Bella was pretty sure she wasn't going to like what was about to come out of Ria's mouth. You know, a little running to help build stamina. We do some hand-to-hand combat training and some strength training. Ria smiled. Everything we do to keep fit spills over into our dragons' lives. It's a lot of fun. Run! Bella couldn't believe her ears. You run and fight? Yeah. Ria looked at Bella. We play games too, for eye and hand coordination. Games? Bella asked nervously. Games like we played in school. Didn't you play games when you went to school? Bella had no desire to start her new friendships based on lies. She bowed her head and mumbled, I never went to school. Bella missed the look of shock on Ria's face. She bent her head down next to Bella's. What do you mean you never went to school? Just what I said. I never went to school, whispered Bella like Ria had whispered when she had asked the question. She looked Ria in the eyes, refusing to reveal the shame she felt. Ria pushed her through the line and occasionally added food to Bella's nearly empty plate. She guided her to a table that was empty. Birdie looked at them questioningly as they passed the table she had saved a place for them at, but Ria shook her head. As soon as they sat down, Ria asked, How come you never went to school? Because girls aren't allowed to go to school in Ilarion, she replied matter-of-factly. She was glad Ria was keeping her voice low. Why? Ria couldn't comprehend the notion that girls didn't go to school. Wasn't there a school available where you grew up? Bella nodded her head. There was a school of sorts. But you are not hearing me. Girls don't go to school unless they are nobles in Ilarion. Ria was stunned. So, what you are saying is you couldn't go to school? Yes, replied Bella. Even though my dad was the leader in our village, I was not allowed to go to school. I did not grow up a noble. I suppose all the recruits are nobles except for me. Bella hung her head. Actually, no, I am not a noble. There was no remorse in Ria's face. Sashin is and a couple of others, but we all went to school together. Oh. Bella didn't know what to say to that. Were you worried that they wouldn't let you go to class because you weren't a noble? If you are, don't. No one here cares about being a noble or not, except maybe Sashin. Sashin is a different story. Ria laughed. She lives in her own little world. I noticed that she kind of keeps to herself, agreed Bella. So if you didn't go to school, who taught you how to read and write at home? Ria asked innocently. Bella hung her head. She wished she could fall right through the floor. She stuttered. Ria gasped. She finally had a handle on what Bella's problem was. She leaned across the table and whispered, You can't read. Bella shook her head. She wanted to cry because she was so embarrassed. She blinked back the tears. She knew she couldn't hide how upset she was, but she wasn't going to be so undignified that she let everyone on the mess hall see her cry. Ria began to process a plan in her mind. She liked the soft-spoken new girl, and her dragon Aileen had been very impressed with Laurel. Look, don't tell anyone about this. There are some like Sashin that would make a big deal out of it. But I promise you that Birdie won't and I won't. As soon as we have finished eating, we are going to your room with Birdie, and we are going to figure this out. We have 45 minutes before class starts, so hurry up and get something into your gut. Ria started taking large bites of food and washing it down with water. Bella followed her example, but her bites were a lot smaller than Ria's. Ria finished way before she did. When Ria was satisfied that Bella had eaten enough, she stood up, walked over to Birdie and whispered in her ear. Bella heard her say, Excuse me, ladies. Ria and I need to get Bella to her classes. See you in class. She gave a little wave and a bright smile to everyone at her table. Come on, Bella, let's go, she called. Bella followed Ria and Birdie to her room. No one said anything until Birdie closed their door. Is it true? She asked with concern. Ria informed me that you can't read, and I can't write. Bella's face was red with shame. I am not going to make it here, am I? A sob choked Bella's throat. Yes, you will, said Ria firmly. Birdie and I will see to it. Birdie nodded her head in agreement. We got this. Ria and I will spend any extra time we have teaching you how to read. The only other person I would trust to help us in this endeavor is Leanne, so we are not including anyone else in our secret. We are not even going to ask Leanne unless, for some reason, Ria and I have other responsibilities to attend to, and neither of us is available. I help Mistress Sansa with her remedial classes sometimes, So I am going to run over there and ask her if she needs any help preparing for her class. I will see what I can do to help her. So if there is anything I can do to get you through this first day, I will. So I am headed out. We have less than half an hour to class. Rhea left the room. Can you write your name, Bella? Birdie asked. Bella shook her head. Birdie sighed. Let's get that down before you go to your first class. Birdie got some paper and a quill out of the top drawer of her dresser. She wrote Bella's name several times on the page. Trace these letters, she said as she motioned for Bella to sit at the only desk in the room. Bella did as Birdie instructed. As Bella traced a letter, Birdie had her say the name of it. When she finished tracing all the letters in her name, Birdie would have Bella say her name. Birdie gave her a blank page and had Bella write her name without tracing it. Bella had a lot of ink blobs on the page, but the last time she wrote her name, it was readable. That should do for now, Birdie said with a sigh. You should be all right because the teachers will introduce the subject of your class today and hand out itineraries. I will go over that with you tonight after dinner. Come on, let's go before we are both late for class. Bella followed Birdie to her classroom. Here you are. I have to run. Good luck. Birdie left her alone at the door. Bella took a deep breath and pushed the door open. Here goes nothing, she said to Laurel as she walked through the door.